Welcome to the OnlyFans Secrets Marketing Podcast. The goal of this podcast is to help both new and established OnlyFans creators learn the basics of online branding, marketing, and promotion to help you make more money with your content and maximize your time online. My name is Richard Lewis, and I have over 20 years of internet marketing experience. So let's get started with today's topic. And that topic is pricing your OnlyFans page correctly. All right, so nothing is more important to the success of a venture than pricing your products correctly. OnlyFans allows for creators to set their own prices for subscriptions based on the value they perceive is best. This value can range greatly. In this podcast, we'll explore how to determine your pricing and choose the pricing that's best for you. Okay, so first, what value are you providing for the price set? Now, it's important to keep in mind that a product must be in line not with what you perceive it should cost, but what the market says it should cost. So that means that the market will determine what the cost should be for your product or service. So you have to take into account a lot of different things. Competition is a huge one. So if everyone else within your space, within your niche, is charging $5 a month or $10 a month, and you put yours out at $25 a month, it's going to be very hard to get people to have interest in that, even if the true value of what you're producing is actually $25. The market is pulling the price down because of saturation, because of the number of people willing to do the same thing or sell the same thing for a lower cost. So what you end up doing is that you have to move your price down to be in line with them, regardless of the value that you perceive in what you're producing. So what amount of content is someone getting from what you're producing or from your subscription? And that's another important factor. Like if you are doing a certain amount of work, then you should expect a certain amount of return from that work. So your pricing should reflect the amount of content that you are producing. And it should also reflect the amount of time that you are spending to produce that content. So if you are putting on your OnlyFans the content that comes out of perhaps producing custom content that you're getting paid highly for, so it's basically just the leftovers, then you would want to price it low because the amount of time that you're spending isn't that great, or you're already doing an activity, and so now this is just extra on top of that. So for people who are doing video sites or camming or producing content elsewhere, or have always had clients or fans that they've produced custom content for, taking the extra pictures, the extra content, and placing it onto your OnlyFans isn't really going to cost you any more time. So you can bring your costs down low and be very competitive. The difficulty is that if the only thing you're doing is producing content for OnlyFans, and everything that you're putting out there is original content, then you might have to charge a little bit more regardless of what the market is telling you that you're charging. So you just have to make sure that you let the people who are subscribing or potentially subscribing know of the additional value that they are getting from that cost, so that they know that they are getting value that they would not get from other people because your content is unique to OnlyFans. Okay, so you would want to plan ahead. So do you see as far as pricing is concerned, so do you see yourself as having mass appeal or niche appeal? And that's the question you need to ask yourself. And that's very important because that's going to determine how you price your subscription and how much content that you're going to create. This is very important. So mass appeal is a low cost of entry, which means more possible subscribers. Niche appeal would be a high cost of entry, meaning that your subscription price would be higher, and there would be less people who would want to subscribe. But since you are in that niche, less people are in that, and so you're more likely to get those subscribers. So let's go over the benefits and negatives of each. Okay, so first, mass appeal. Benefits and negatives. The benefits are your high volume can mean huge profits. So for instance, if you price yourself, at $5 and you end up with 1,000 different subs, now you're looking at $5,000 a month. And all you're having to do is produce base content that a lot of other creators are making. No extra effort, which is good. So you have the potential to grow enormously from a mass amount of people. Now, your marketing can go to large numbers of people, which is another benefit. So that means that if you're hitting a mass appeal, then your marketing can go everywhere. Anyone who sees your marketing can potentially be a subscriber or a customer, which is good, especially if you are able to build up a large audience. So also, with a lower cost, more people are willing to try it out. So you are going to have people who are going to look at it and say, $5, okay, I can afford $5. And they will subscribe to you. So what are the negatives? So you're going to end up with a high turnaround rate because the amount of people who are coming in. So if you end up with 1,000 subscribers, how many of those are going to put renew on? They might just be trying you out because again, it's just a mass appeal. So you're appealing to anyone. They can find someone else who can replace you pretty easily. So you end up with a higher turnaround rate and less people who are willing to turn long-term subscriptions on. And that's, another negative is less loyal subscribers. So these are people who are, might subscribe for a little while because of the mass appeal approach that you're taking. And then the next new thing, they'll jump over to that because they're, not loyal to you because you are, hitting a mass appeal and they know that. So they know that what you have to offer is out to everyone. And so you're also churning and burning. So they feel less loyalty to you to stick around. And they might also just go to the next lowest price option. So if you're charging $5 and someone else puts their $5 subscription on sale for 40% off and now they're $3, the person might be willing to go ahead and jump over there to that person. So you're going to end up with a lot of low price shoppers, which is, a problem. And you also have another negative is you have less security on consistent income. So, you will never know exactly what's going to happen because if you have 1,000, and obviously this is a dream for a lot of people to have 1,000 or 2,000 different subscribers, and you don't know what percentage of those people are going to continue to renew. And I mean, it can even be down to 100, again, like 100, and you're thinking, okay, well, half of these people might not necessarily subscribe. So now I have to replace, 50 of these people every single month. So it puts a lot of pressure on your marketing as well to continue to pull in new people. because the people that you have are more turn and burn because you've set up your appeal in that way. Okay, so what about niche appeal benefits and negatives? Okay, so the benefits is you're going to have a higher per sale profit. So regardless of whether or not you're setting up your subscribers base as a high price or you're selling additional content, unique content, because you're in a niche, you're able, and supply and demand, the supply is low, demand is higher than what the supply is, you're able to charge a higher price for your subscription. So obviously, higher per sale profit is a huge benefit. You also will have a better chance of higher secondary custom content sales because you're in a niche and the person is, probably a lot more invested in whatever that niche is that they like. If they're not they can't just go and find it anywhere, and they found in you someone who will produce that content or is into that particular thing, then they're going to look to you to produce secondary custom content. They're going to be more willing to pay for paywall content, and you're able to charge a higher price for that paywall content. So that's a huge benefit for you. Another thing is that you have higher security for consistent income. So if we look at the example I gave before of 100 different people, if you as a niche person are able to get 100 people in, you might end up with 80 or 90% of those people turning on the subscription button to resubscribe. So you're able to plan a lot easier and say, okay, well, these people are sticking around. I'm going to go ahead and create X amount of content, or this I can invest in equipment or invest in more of my time. So that's a huge advantage for you. All right. So what are some negatives? One is that if you're in a niche, it's a small market. So you have only so many people that you can appeal to. So you have to make sure to gear all of your marketing towards those people and pull them in. So it's not going to be, a mass marketing effort and just hope that people will pull in. If you do large mass marketing, the percentage of people who are interested in your niche is going to be small. So you're not going to get the respond rate that you might if you were, appealing to more of a mass appeal. And then another one is that if you end up with an additional one or two new competitors in your niche space, it could become a huge issue for you. So if you had, one or two other OnlyFans creators that were successful on your niche, and one or two new people come in, it becomes an issue because now you're competing with them as well, and the market is not going to get much bigger. So now the pie is being split 3 or 4 or 5 ways. And so you're going to have to up your game and make sure that your content and what you're producing is even better than what someone new, is producing. And another negative is you can hit a wall on new subscribers. As mentioned, it's a small pool. Whatever niche you decided to go after. So you might end up where you can't bring in any new subscribers. You might go for a month or several weeks without anyone new, even though you've continued doing your marketing, because there's been no one that's stumbled onto that particular interest in that niche that's made it onto OnlyFans. So that can be frustrating, and you'll end up spinning your wheels a lot trying to market more in hopes of getting some new people in that might not exist. Okay, so what are